Okay, so first of all, I would really like to say a big, huge, a massive, a giant thank you to every single one of you, who wrote to me about my Coco. I got loads of emails, loads of messages. Like, the response was absolutely incredible, and I'm completely blown away by it indeed. But what I really am so grateful, what am I so grateful is like the amount of prayers that I've actually had when it comes to my Coco. And in fact, if I didn't have so many prayers, because the prayers are so powerful, and the more people are praying, the more powerful this prayer, of course, it's actually going to be. And I'm so grateful, because I do not believe and I do not think that my Coco would still be here if I didn't receive this enormous amount of prayers. So I'm so grateful to every single one of you. I really am. I mean, today's the 7th of January 2024, and like, my Coco is still with me. He's still alive, and it's incredible. But it is a very difficult road. It is a very difficult journey. I mean, so far, since I've posted my first video about Coco, so far he almost died 3 times. So 3 times he almost died so far. The first time was when I posted that video, when I was absolutely certain that he will go, that I will lose him. Okay, the first time was when I posted my first video, and he did not eat 2 days, and on the third day, like, oh my god, it was Christmas, Christmas gift, my Christmas present, he started to eat. Okay, and I was like, oh my god, he started to eat, and I was like over the moon. I was so happy, I couldn't believe it. Then the second time, I think it was last week at some point, he basically went into his litter tray, and but before I say this, he is kind of, very slow. He's very lethargic. He kind of sit a lot in one place, but he is moving just a little bit. He's moving slightly. He gets up to eat, and he gets up to go to the litter tray, So even that, it's like a great response from him, And like about a week ago, this is the second time when he really scared me. He just got up, and it was at around maybe midnight. We were downstairs. I was in the living room and I was watching TV, and he got up and he just went into his litter tray. And this is what it is, because I've noticed that a few times when he went into his litter tray, I think when he starts straining himself, to go for a poo or for a wee, this is like, oh my god, huge amount of energy for him. This is what I can really feel. So every time when he goes into his litter tray, I can feel that this is like a big amount of energy for him to kind of, create. And he either starts coughing a little bit, or he gives me some kind of a signal and some kind of a sign, so I know he is a little bit struggling. But like about a week ago, he went into his litter tray, and he just, oh my god, he just started to like kind of vomit. But he made, like, the noise was becoming louder and louder, and I was just watching him, and he was like making noise like he's vomiting, but it became really loud and really scary and really horrible, and there was no vomit around him whatsoever. And it went so like kind of intense, for like about, I would say like about maybe 30 seconds, so intensely he was trying to vomit, but nothing was coming out, And then after that, he was extremely lethargic, but beforehand, when I noticed him kind of trying to vomit, he just sat in the litter tray for like about 10 minutes and he wasn't moving. And I thought, like, oh my God, I'm going to lose him. I'm going to lose him. And then after like about 10 minutes, he just like kind of gets up and he just goes back on the sofa. But it was really, really scary. And the third time, it was the scariest time. What actually happened last night. Oh my God, it was so scary. Like last night, I definitely thought that was it. Because I think that last night he had like a mini heart attack. So I was in my room. I was in my bedroom last night, and he was sleeping next to me. He was lying down next to me on my pillow. It's what he normally does, especially lately within the last couple of months or so. He's just sleeping right next to my head or next to my pillow very, very intensely. And then when he gets up, I normally hear it. And then I heard him get up. I think it must have been at around like about 1:30 in the morning. I can hear him getting up, and I can hear him jumping down, like very slowly, and then I can hear him going into his litter tray. And then suddenly, and I'm thinking, okay, it's all fine, he's in his litter tray. And of course, I decided to put his litter tray into my bedroom, inside my bedroom. I know it sounds horrible, but I do change it, of course, And I decided to put his litter tray inside my bedroom, so it's very close to my bed, you see, and where he wants to be, next to me. And he went into his litter tray, and then suddenly I hear him jumping out, and there was a very like weird noise. And then I got up immediately. I turned the light on, and I just see him lying down underneath the radiator next to the window, which is next to the litter tray, lying down flat with like, oh my God, I got so scared. Oh my God, lying down flat. And it's like he's like hyperventilating a little bit with his mouth open, like this, and I was like, oh my God, like it wasn't all the time with mouth open like this, but it was like every now and then he would open his mouth like grasping for air. And I was like, oh my God, it's like I'm so scared now. And he's lying down completely flat, and he's breathing extremely fast, and I really felt like he had some kind of a mini heart attack or some kind of a heart attack. And I just got up, and I was just sitting next to him, and I was touching him, and I was talking to him, and I was praying and praying and praying and praying and praying and crying and praying and crying and praying and crying and praying and crying. And I was just like, oh my God, going through the same thing all over again, of course, which is I knew this is going to happen, and I know that this day is going to come eventually. But it's just something that you cannot prepare yourself for it whatsoever. No matter how much you try, you cannot prepare yourself for this moment in time. And as I said before, never in my life I had an animal that I just felt so close to, like I feel close to Coco. Okay, it is just like it's absolutely crazy. So this is why all this is even more like kind of amplified, if you know what I mean. This is a not easy time for me whatsoever, as you can imagine. So he was lying down, and I was talking to him and crying and praying, and that was from like around from like about 1:30 in the morning until I don't know, until like about almost 4 o'clock in the morning. That's right. It went from 1:30 in the morning until 4 o'clock in the morning. After like about 10 past 4 in the morning, I know that I fell asleep, okay? But beforehand, before all that happened, I'm like all over the place, while he was lying down on the floor, when I found him, when I was praying and crying, after like about, I would say, after like about 2 hours, he got up and he just went on top of the litter tray. Now this litter tray is like a really big litter tray. It's like loads of space for him to lie down on top of the litter tray, and sometimes he does that, So he went on top of the litter tray, and I was like, okay, he managed to get up. Like I couldn't believe this. I could not believe it. He managed to get up. He went on top of the litter tray, and as I'm lying on my bed, I'm looking at him, and I have a light on, and I turn the light off. off, but I turned the light on in the hallway so I could see. I'm gonna put a little lamp in my room tonight. So I turned the light on in the hallway so I could see it, and as I was lying down, I could see him like on my bed. I watched him on his little tray, and I can see him chilling out and relaxing. I can see his head, his little head is going down, and I know that he's about to fall asleep. And I can see that his breathing is as well not as fast. You know, it's kind of slowed down. And I was like, thank God for this, you know, thank God. And I basically what was I going to say now? Yeah, I was watching him from the bed, but I just really wanted to have him next to me. But I was so scared to pick him up. I was so scared to pick him up when he was on a little tray and bring him into the bed with me, because I was worried that I'm going to hurt him, you know, because he's so super fragile at the moment. He is so fragile, bless his heart. It's like only skin and bones, you know. And I was so worried that I'm gonna do something wrong when I pick him up and that I'm going to hurt him. And I was so scared because I was like kind of blaming myself for it when he had this mini heart attack, because we were downstairs, you know, in the living room. He's all day long with me. So he was downstairs with me in the living room. So it's like a daily ritual. Then first I take the little tray up into the bedroom, then I take a water up into the bedroom, then I take a food up into the bedroom, then I take Coco at the end, you know, up into the bedroom. And you know, you know, and the way I carried him, you know, this part, because I thought this is going to be the best, to take him gently from downstairs and have him like this, so he's resting on my shoulder. You know, he's resting with his little paws, and this is here like this, and looking behind, you know, like you're carrying a baby, literally. But this is how I thought. I really felt energetically it's the best way for him, you know, for me to carry him. So I decided to bring him up like that, and then when I decided to put him down next to the litter tray, you know, then he went into the litter tray, and then he started to, you know, have, and then he had that thing, you know, he was hyperventilating. As soon as he came out, he fell down and things like that. But I was blaming myself primarily for maybe I got paranoid, maybe I picked him up wrong, in a wrong way. Do you know what I mean? I know sometimes when I talk, I just explain things in such a confusing way. I'm sorry, but it's just like my little paranoia that this is why I was like looking at him from my bed, looking at him on the litter tray, but because of that paranoia that, oh my God, maybe I did something wrong when I picked him up before in the first place. This is why, you know, everything went wrong. I was just so scared. But I wanted to have my Coco next to me. I really wanted to have my Coco next to me. So as I'm lying down on the bed last night, I'm looking at him, and then I thought, like, you know what? I'm just gonna take that litter tray that he's sleeping on, and very gently I'm gonna start jogging towards the bed, because I'm on one side of the bedroom, he's on the other side of the bedroom. So I took the litter tray, I grabbed the litter tray gently, and I was just pulling the litter tray like this towards my bed. I was pulling the litter tray like this towards my bed, and then he was like, oh God, Lord, it's all moving, you know, he's looking all confused around, you know, what's happening. And then, you know, as soon as I brought him like very close to where I sleep, you know, as soon as like kind of like I was lying down and I brought litter tray so close, and then as soon as he saw me, he just immediately like jumped on the bed, like literally. And I was like, oh my God, I did not expect this, bless your heart. I did not expect this. And then we both, very soon after that, like fall asleep, you know, and that was like all that like was after 4 o'clock in the morning, like at around 10 past 4, I think we were both like fast asleep. And then I woke up in the morning and I'm like, oh my God, where's Coco? And I look at Coco, he's right next to me, sleeping next to me on the bed, you know, on the pillow. and look at him. Oh my God, thank God he's still alive. But his little heart was beating like really, really, really fast, really, really fast. And then, but he was still there, and I was touching him, and he was like kind of responding. He was responding to it. Then I got up immediately. When I get up, I bring him down, and I really didn't know what to expect. His heart beating did not beat as fast like a couple of hours later after I brought him down. And then his breathing as well in general kind of slowed down. And as soon as I realized, first of all, to start with, he didn't want to eat. He was very, very tired, very lethargic, but he didn't want to eat at all. But then after like about an hour, he started to eat slowly but surely, and I was so, so, so happy, like really, really happy. And another thing that I've noticed about him, do you know what I mean? This was like a while back, that he doesn't actually drink water. He just stopped drinking water, and I don't know, did I mention this? I'm sorry, but he stopped drinking water, and I've noticed this like a while back. So what I decided to do a while back, every single time when I give him like a little bit of food, every single time, every food I give him, because he stopped eating dry food as well. I don't think that he has got any teeth left for dry food. He stopped eating dry food, and but he stopped drinking water as well. But if I give him water with his soft meal, soft food, he is going to drink this water, and he has been drinking this water all along in that particular way. So at least, thank God again, he is drinking water, but he's not gonna go and drink water by himself. So I have to make sure that I actually put water with his soft food. Every little bit of soft food I give him, I put a little bit of water with it, like that much water with it as well. And I did notice that he straight away drinks water. Really, really strange, but at least he is doing it. So this is something that I've actually noticed. So now this is what's going on really. So he's like, all day long, he's sitting next to me, and like wherever I am, he's gonna be right next to me. This is where he's going to be the most comfortable. I know I said all this, but everything that he's been through, this scared me so much. It scared me like nothing ever before. And it's just like it is a very, very much so very difficult time, but what can you do? You can only try your best. All I can say is that he clearly is a little fighter. I do not think that he's in like a terrible pain. And I know that some of you are probably gonna say, well, you're just saying that he had a heart attack last night. Yes, I know, but right now and most of the time, he's just really, really relaxed. He's really chilled out. He's really slow. He does fall asleep every now and then. And sometimes I'm so glad that he's sleeping, because I really do feel that him breathing really kind of fast is more probably down to him being really anxious and nervous, for example. And why do I think this? It's because as soon as he fell asleep, his breathing changes. So he doesn't breathe like really fast. He starts to breathe like really, really slowly. So this is why I'm so, thank God, he's sleeping, because I just think that, I think that he's quite anxious and a little bit stressed. So this is what it is, that, that it's to do with him. I do not think that he's like in a screaming pain, and thank God he is not. And I am like going to do my best to make everything, the best possible for him, for my Coco. So this was just an update. I just wanted to let you know how is he doing, And yes, he's basically still alive. He's still with me. And you can't blame me. I am really, truly, genuinely hoping that he is going to stay alive, that he is going to, stay with me. What can I do? I know I'm really probably being a complete wimp, but I am finding this extremely difficult because, he means to me so much, and he has such a special place in my life. So I suppose it's maybe my coping mechanism, to actually just, keep on going forward and, keep your head up and keep going and do everything you possibly can in order to try to, in order to save this gorgeous, precious little soul, But, maybe some people would think like that I'm crazy, that, there is no point. But, as I said, almost 3 times so far, he almost died. And this is why this is so amazing. And last night especially, like, oh my God, the amount of tears I actually had, the amount of prayers, it is just like, it is like kind of, oh my God, it does really shake you up, all this, it does leave pretty much, so it changes you, it really does changes you. But yeah, what I was going to say is that, what else can I do really, I of course, oh, you're a psychic. How come you don't know when he's gonna die? Do you know what? To be quite honest with you, there are ways for me to look into this. There are ways for me to see this. There are ways for me to check this. Guess what? I don't want to. I don't want to see this. I don't want to know this. I don't want to check this because I personally would not get anything out of it whatsoever. And the same thing happened when my dad was dying. And when my dad was dying, he was dying for a very long time. He had a brain aneurysm, my father. And that was, oh my God, that was such a vile way to go. I'm sorry, it's a horrible way to go. My father had a brain aneurysm, and then after he had a brain aneurysm, he was like paralyzed for like almost a year basically, and he couldn't do anything. It was like nothing. It's not that he was only paralyzed, but he just wasn't there. He wasn't responding, and he wasn't responding, and that was very, very difficult because that went for almost as long as a whole year. So it's not that he was only paralyzed, he was also not there in his head. So we realized that he was already gone, and that was so difficult. And there were ways when it comes to my father and my dad to check also, like, oh God, when is he gonna die? That I can assure you that I can do this, I can check this, I can see this. But I didn't want to know. Sometimes you just don't want to know, especially when it comes to very, very special people in your life. You just don't want to know. And there are lots of people who are very brave. There are lots of people who are very strong. There are lots of people who want to know exactly when these things are going to take place or when these things are going to happen. But when it comes to me, I just don't want to know. I don't need to know. So for me, it's like, again, maybe it's to do with my coping mechanism. But why would I want to know when exactly he's going to die? Like this, it's so much better because he's still alive, he's a little fighter, he's still fighting, it is very difficult. And, I mean, he was on chemotherapy. as I said, and I explained my reasons why I decided to put him on a chemotherapy, because normally I am against this completely. But I did explain why I decided to do this. And only when you're dealing with this particular, things in your life yourself, only then you can understand that you respond, differently. You respond differently to what you think that you would respond to it in the first place, because you're going to do absolutely everything you possibly can in order to save this particular person or an animal in your life that means to you so much, so and it was about good 5 or 6 months he was on chemotherapy. And oh my god, it was like he was like violently sick throughout. He was vomiting like almost every day. First of all, and people, and both people and animals, yes, they get very, very, very sick on chemotherapy. It's a fact, very, very sick indeed. And I know this. I knew this, I was aware of this, but I wasn't aware of the fact how much he's actually going to vomit. Like he was vomiting like almost every day, and I thought like, oh my god, this is really not going to work. But then it's just stopped. And this went for months. And I thought like, how is he even still alive? And then it just stopped. Then all the vomiting stopped, and I thought, whoa, this gave me some kind of a hope, So yes, when people and animals go through chemotherapy, they do get very, very, very extremely sick indeed. And this is something that I'm always keeping on my mind. And I'm always keeping this in my mind, and I remember this when he was like sick every day. I was just remembering what chemotherapy actually can do, what chemotherapy does, and it did stop at the end. So now basically I'm just doing my best really to keep him alive. I'm, to be quite honest with you, at this stage to take him to the vets. He's too weak. I'm not even gonna bother. And I know it sounds horrible, probably not horrible, but I just think that every single time when you take him to the vet, when I took him to the vet, he would be like really nervous. But you know how cats are, especially cats though, and even dogs and other animals get nervous, of course, sometimes, This is due to various reasons, But so majority of cats, it's a normal thing, He just didn't like to go to the vet, type of thing. But that's just kind of normal. But I just don't want to stress him out anymore. I don't want to take him to the vet anymore because I don't want to stress him out. Even me putting him in my car and driving him to the vet, it's like even that would stress him out. Just go into the car. So that option, I'm not going to consider anymore. Taking him to the vet, because I know that he's so frail, he's so fragile, and honestly, I don't think that he would be able to kind of get stressed even more, because stress can be very dangerous, like in situations like this. I mean, he's so weak and he's so frail that basically stress, just him being stressed, this could actually what I mean, end him. So I really hope you understand. I'm just being completely honest with you when it comes to me taking him to the vet. But I am and also, I mean, anything else now, he's 18 years old, anything else like that you would do to him, I think that he would find too much, really. Like, God forbidden, like some kind of operation or something like that. Basically, he wouldn't make it. So all what is left to me is like, I'm giving him everything I can. I'm with him like 24/7. I go to bed with him. I get up with him. I spend the whole day with him. I mean, I don't even want to go out like and do things like at the moment, because I'm just worried that something may happen to him. It's that bad, yeah. But at the end of the day, it's just like you have to get on with life, at the same time. But so this is what I wanted to let you all know, that he's still here, he's still alive, and Cressida, my other cat, also very interesting, like while I was crying last night, she was in the hallway and the door were open of my bedroom, and she was looking at me, and she was like just looking at me, and then she was looking at Coco lying down, then she was looking at me, then she was looking at Coco, but I could just see her thinking Cressida, and knowing exactly what is going on, knowing exactly that I'm crying, knowing exactly why am I crying, and she knows exactly what is happening with Coco, but the cats are just so clever, they're so intelligent, they're so spiritual. There is no doubt in my mind, there is no doubt that she knows exactly not only what is going on, but she knows exactly how long he is going to have. I know the cats are super smart, super clever, super intuitive. She knows exactly what is going on, and she knows exactly how long he's actually going to last, And just the way she was looking at me last night, me and then Coco, and then she came very close to me and Coco, and she made a very unusual sound, very unusual noise, all these little signs, to let me know that she is aware of what is happening, and she's ridiculously smart, ridiculously intelligent. She's one of the most intelligent cats or animals I've ever had, Cressida. She really is. Because when Coco started to get sick for the first time, he was just acting very strange, and he was ending up in a very strange places. He was sitting in a strange places when he started to get sick for the first time, and these were like strange places. So for example, when he started to get sick for the first time, when I say the strange places, he I have lots of plants in my house. This is not just these plants. This is not it. Like they're like everywhere. And some of the plants in my house are big like cheese, like little cheese, So when he started to get sick, I was like, where is Coco? Where is Coco? He's not on the bed where he is. He's not over there. He's not over there. I don't know. Where is Coco? Where is Coco? And then I see one of my biggest plants. It's a massive, massive plant I have. Very, very bushy. Okay, on top of the mini table, and I look at that plant, and he's sitting in the middle of that plant. Now he's never done that before. He's never done that before. He was sitting in the middle of that plant, and that plant was that high up. It was this high up. It was like, sorry, this was this high up. It was like on top of the little table, and it took me ages to find him. Like that. He would just go into the little strange, bizarre places in the house he's never been in before. And this is what something is not right. Something is really not right here, And the second time, and thank God that I found him. And the second time here, I already knew. But this is what that something was wrong. Here I already knew at this stage. This was like a little bit later. He disappeared again, and I freaked out. That was like about a month later or so. He was already on the treatment. He already started this chemotherapy. But it was like kind of continued him like going into the really, really, really weird places. The second time, a month after that, I couldn't find him whatsoever. I really couldn't find him. And I couldn't find him at all. And I was so paranoid, and it went for like about a couple of hours. I completely freaked out. I couldn't find him, and it's my rose and hibiscus tea with organic honey and with organic unwaxed lemon, and it's absolutely delicious. Okay, I mentioned this quite a few times. This is my favorite, or one of my favorite teas. So yeah, so the second time when he disappeared, it was like I couldn't find him for like a good 2 hours. I freaked out. I absolutely freaked out. I thought that he maybe went out. Next to me is the busy road, like one of the busiest roads in Essex, you know, here where I am. One of the busiest roads is outside. It's like, oh my God, what if he ended up on the road? No, I can't take this. I'm so scared. 2 hours. Now, I found Cressida. Cressida was in the kitchen. I didn't know where Coco is for 2 hours. I said to Cressida, I know you're really clever. I know you're really smart. I know you're really intelligent. Please tell me, where is Coco? And she's looking at me like that. She's looking at me, and then she's looking like that. I said, please, Cressida, tell me, where is Coco? Show me where is Coco. And she's still looking like this. You know, cats, they take a while when it comes to them responding to what you're asking them to do, you know. They've got a different energy to us, different brain to us, different way of thinking to us. So it takes a while for the cats to actually respond. And I'm asking third time, please, Cressida, tell me where is Coco. I need to find Coco. Please tell me where is Coco. And I say again, please tell me where is Coco. And I can see her thinking and looking around like this and thinking and then looking at me, putting things together. And then I walked off. I went to get a glass of water or something like that. I did something. I came out of the kitchen and Cressida is standing next to the sofa, sitting next to the sofa and looking at me. But in a very strange place where sofa is, you know, where she never sits. Right next to the sofa, she's sitting and she's looking at me and she's looking towards the sofa. She's looking at me and she's looking towards the sofa and she's smelling underneath the sofa. And I was like, he is underneath the sofa. But I looked underneath the sofa already. But I knew that he has somehow got himself inside the sofa. Like not underneath, but somehow, you know, he managed to find a little way in the middle of the sofa, underneath the sofa, in the middle of the sofa. He managed to find a little way and he climbed up and he was right in the middle of the sofa. Do you know what I mean? But you couldn't see him. So when I looked down underneath before, that's why I couldn't see him, because he wasn't underneath the sofa. He was within the sofa, inside. But I would never look there in the first place if Cressida didn't let me know. So this is how clever, how intelligent and how smart she is. She managed to let me know. She let me know where he was. And I was looking for him for like 2 hours. I freaked out. I really freaked out because this was at the beginning stages of his chemotherapy. I really freaked out at that stage. So that's what I'm trying to say, how intelligent and how smart, how sharp and how clever, you know, Cressida is. So she knows exactly, she let me know, she did let me know where he was. It was like, oh my God, Cressida, you're amazing, you're amazing. So this is what I wanted to say, that she's very clever, she's extremely intelligent, you know, and these animals, when you talk to them, they do understand. And that's why she knows exactly what is going on with Coco at the moment. But can you blame me? Can you blame me? I know that lots of you are gonna say you are crazy, you know, to think like this. But what can I do? Because this is the way I operate. You know, this hope keeps me going. The fact that he died almost 3 times so far, it's completely out of this world. The fact that he's still alive, it's unbelievable. I do know that this is thanks to all of your prayers and the amazing positive energy that you were sending this way, that you were sending towards Coco, because your prayers managed to keep him alive. I'm absolutely 1,000,000,000% certain when it comes to this, you know. I'm absolutely certain when it comes to this, like 1,000,000%. So, you know, And people would say, like, come on, you need to let it go. You know, it's like an 18-year-old cat. Yeah, but then in my mind, it's like, oh, he's already been through so much, you know, and he came on top, you know. And also, some cats live up to 23 and 24. I know plenty of people. And there is just person that doesn't live too far from me, you know, their cat died at the age of 24. And that's not the first time that I came across this. I came across this many times. So my point is that, can you blame me to just hope that he's gonna be okay, that he will go through this, you know? That's exactly what I'm hoping. But it's just that, you know, it's just that basically, you know, I'm hoping that he's not necessarily going to live until 23 and 24, but this is something that is, well, hopefully he is, you know, but this is something that really kind of helped me, you know, it's something that keeps me going, you know, and I'm probably making it more difficult to myself when it happens, when it really happens, you know. I think that I'm just gonna explode, you know, when it happens. No matter how many times so far, you know what's really crazy? So many times so far I thought that he's gonna die. And every single time it was more difficult for me to deal with this. Every single time it was more difficult for me to deal with this. And I was really wondering how this is going to unfold after the first time, because I freaked out like crazy the first time for Christmas, when I thought that he's going to die. And I had the best, my God, I had the best Christmas gift ever. I had the best Christmas gift ever, because he was alive, you know, because, you know, and this is like, I you know, the first time, what I was going to say is also, is the first time when I thought that he's gonna die, I freaked out like crazy. And then I was in so much pain, and I thought, oh my God, when it happened next time, how I'm gonna feel? Is it gonna be easier or is it gonna be worse? The second time was like a worst. The third time last night was probably the worst, seriously. The last night, you know, when he had this mini heart attack or whatever it was, that was like the worst. So each time if it was worse, basically. So each time you go through different things, but they hit you much harder, you know? They hit you much harder, because this is why, maybe in a way, I'm probably making it difficult for myself, you know, because all this hope and positive energy that's keeping me going, you know, I suppose this is eventually gonna not necessarily turn against me, but that energy is gonna kind of maybe going to turn into like a sadness, you know. So the more hopeful and optimistic I am at the moment, I think that the more sad and negative I'm going to be once when it happens. But then I'm not going to think about that. I'm just going to, you know, spend the most time I actually can, you know, with him. And I'm gonna do my best to help him, you know, and it's all what's left for me. It's to just kind of hope, you know, that he is eventually going to get better. And I'm gonna be completely honest with you. Yes, I know that in like few days time, God forbidden, I might post another video message saying that he's gone. Yes, I know. I'm not living in a la la land, you know. I'm not living in pink clouds. You know, I know, but then again, I suppose this is my coping mechanism, and yes, it's affecting me, yeah. And I'm so sorry. And I really thought that I'm gonna be able to start filming today, like readings and things like that. But just again, last night, I know I'm such a wimp. I know I'm probably a wimp, you know, a real wimp. You know, last night I was awake all night, and it's not about being awake all night. I'm used to all this, you know. I'm used to all this. I'm like a night owl, you know. I'm used to all this, you know. That's fine, but I suppose it's more about the stress and anxiety. And all this energy that is taken away from you, it's very difficult to get back as quickly as the very next day. So I am going to resume my videos, my weekly videos, but right now, maybe today, tomorrow, day after tomorrow, I'll start posting tomorrow, day after tomorrow, for example. But right now, I still need a little bit of time, because I just, I would like to bring him here with me, and I did try. Couple of times, but then again, he is like really, you know I did try to bring him a couple of times, and I did put him where he would normally be. There's a little table here. But no, 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 he just wanted to come out of the room. No, 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 he just wanted to come out of the room. So he wants to be on the sofa where I normally sit, on my sofa, sitting right next to where I normally sit. So when I'm finished, what I have to do, then he knows that I'm going to sit next to him, and that's the little safe place for him. At the moment, he doesn't see this room something like where he wants to be for whichever reason, but then what the cats are like. So I just felt like he doesn't want to be here at the moment, so I didn't want to torture him, because I could have done my readings with him next to me, but I just didn't want to torture him, but yeah, so basically, yes. So I really hope you understand. As I said, he's eating, he's drinking. When I put water with his food, he's drinking. And now I'm just basically hoping for the best. It is not easy, it's a very difficult road. It's, yeah, it's very difficult, but I'm grateful to God he's still alive. I'm grateful to God he's still with me. Yes, I know this can all change tomorrow. This can all change day after tomorrow. This can all change in a few days. As I said, I may post a video in a few days' time telling you that he's gone. I know this, but I have to be within this frame of mind, because he also picks up a lot on the way I am, the way I think. When I'm sad, he's sad. When I'm happy, he's happy. When I'm excited, he's excited. If I'm down and depressed, he's gonna be down and depressed. So I don't want to be down and depressed and wait for him to die. I'm rather going to be optimistic, and I'm really going to be hoping for the miracle, for some kind of a miracle here. I've already had my Christmas miracle for sure, because I was 1,000,000% certain that he's going to die. Everything is plus, a huge, massive plus after that, if you know what I mean. So my gorgeous Pipolini, I just wanted to let you know what is happening with Coco. And what is happening, I suppose, with your readings. I am going to start posting your readings again, which is going to be within the next couple of days, I hope. But at the moment, I just wanted to update you on Coco, how Coco is doing, and he's still alive, he's still here, he's still eating, he's still drinking, and that's all it matters right now. So I'm just hoping that he's gonna go very soon on the next level, when it comes to his healing, okay. So thank you so much again for all your prayers. Thank you so much for all your prayers and all your messages. It means to me so much. The response was absolutely out of this world. The amount of comments I had, the amount of prayers I had, the amount of love I had. Oh my God, I'm never, ever gonna forget this. Never, ever. Thank you ever so much, my gorgeous people, for absolutely everything. I love every single one of you.